Hello everyone, we are Group13, and today we are presenting our work for Assessment2 in ECON1575. My name is Tang Fanyu, and I'm here with my teammates Xie Jingxiang and Hao Mengran. Together, we study how game theory can be applied to the real-life business situations. Today, I will introduce two parts of our Assessment2. In part A, we work with a 3x3 payoff matrix. These metrics show how players make choices at the same time. When both players use the same strategy, they didn't do well. They were hurt by direct competition and both got lower payoffs. When players used different strategies, the results will be better. The payoff were higher and both sides gained more. From the data, we saw a clear partners. The interdisciplinary strategy was always weaker. The board exploration strategy gave better results in most cases. So board exploration became a dominant strategy. It can help reduce risk, and it gave more stable outcome. In part B, we studied a job offer and salary negotiation. The game was sequential, not simultaneous. The employer moved first. Then the candidate made a choice. The employer could choose to give a high salary or low salary. If the employer gave a low salary, the candidate would reject the offer. Knowing this, the employer had a reason to give a high salary from the start. This shows the idea of rollback equilibrium, which explains the choice step by step.
In this example, I faced an academic competition where both my peer and I had to make choices at the same time. We had three strategies: deep dive into one topic, broad exploration of safer topic, or a high-risk interdisciplinary approach. When we both chose the same option, competition reduced our exercise. For example, both choosing deep dive linked to only 2 points each. By contrast, when we chose different strategies, the payoff were higher, such as we choosing deep dive and my peer choosing broad. This shows that the game was not about cooperation, but about avoiding overlap, which makes it an anti-cooper coordination game. Through dominance reasoning, I found that interdisciplinary was strictly dominated by broad and could be eliminated. They simply find the game to two bad to pay off metrics with only deep dive and broad strategies. From this reduced game, two pure strategy Nash equilibria appeared, one with me choosing deep dive and my peer broad, and the reserve reverse. There was also a mixed strategy Nash equilibrium, where each player chooses deep dive with probability 2/5 and broad with probability 3/5. This balance reflects that a player cannot fully predict to others' move. So mixing strategy is rational way to manage risk and reward. In practice, I chose broad while my peers select the deep dive, and the result was a payoff of 5 for me and 6 for them. This was rational and safe because it avoided to voice case signal of 2 points each, but it also revealed my risk-averse attitude. I missed a chance to achieve a better outcome of 6 for me and 5 for my competitor if coordination had been possible. In the future, I would use signaling or commitment devices, such as announcing my strategy earlier, to get differentiation and achieve a more mutually beneficial result. Reflecting on this, I realized my approach ensures safety and missed potential, so next time I would act more proactively to influence the outcome.
And then I will talk about part two and use the game century to analyze the strategic interaction in salary negotiations. My presentation is divided into three parts: the game setup, equilibrium analysis, and the real-world implications. Let's begin with part one: strategic interaction and game setup. This is a classic equation game. This employer as the first mover, makes a key decision to offer a high or low salary. This initial offer sets the anchor for the negotiation. The candidate, as the second mover, observes the offer and then chooses to accept, reject, or counter. Then two parties have conflicting goals. The employer aims to control costs, where the candidate seeks fair market value. This sequence and divergence of interests form the basis of strategic interaction. Building on this setup, we move to part two: equilibrium analysis and predictions. Using backward induction, we find a key insight. If the employer offers a low salary, the candidate's best response is not to accept or reject, but to counter. A relational a relation employer anticipates this reaction. Therefore, to avoid the prolonged negotiation or the risk of losing the candidate, the employer's best strategy is to offer a high salary initially. This leads to the equilibrium outcome. A high offer results in acceptance. This process also highlights two types of advantages: the first mover's anchoring power and the second mover's informational advantages. Finally, let's turn to part 3: reliability and application, where the center is clear. Real-world negotiations are influenced by factors such as information asymmetry, emotions, and fairness concerns. The, the core value of this sequential game model lies in its broad applicability. It not only explains salary negotiations, but also helps us understand other strategic contexts like business partnerships and competitive binding. Un- Understanding this firework can enhance our strategic thinking in future negotiations. Now let's move to the conclusion part. In part A, we learned that the board exploration strategy was the best choice. It was stronger than the interdisciplinary strategy, and it worked better in most cases. This strategy helped reduce the risk of the direct competition. It also gave more stable results when players made decisions at the same time. The payoff metrics show it very clearly. So we can say that board exploration became the dominate strategy in this game. In part B, we study the job offer and salary negotiation. We use a game tree to explain the process. The employer moved first, and the candidate decided after. Rollback equilibrium showed why the employer would give a high salary from the start. If the employer gave a low salary, the candidate will reject it. Knowing this, the employer had a strong reason to make a fair offer. So, as a result, both sides avoided waste time and both reached a better outcome. Overall, These two cases give us important lessons. Game theory can explain choices in different kinds of games. It helps us understand both simulations moves and sequential moves. It also shows that rational choice often leads to stable, fair, and get outcome in the real life. That's all. Thank you.